Welcome to the Green Ledger, Tips for a Sustainable Small Business, your guide to building a profitable and sustainable small business. This is a show where making money meets making a difference. I'm Anka, your host. In each episode, I explore how resilience fuels business growth and success by applying strategies and tools that big companies use, but making them super practical for your business. Today's topic may not be on your priority list, but it is a vital entry in your green ledger. Let's dive in. Hello and welcome back. It's been a hectic last few days and I almost didn't want to record this episode tonight. I feel exhausted, but I'm pushing through. Maybe this episode will help someone do something good for their business today, and if I delay recording it, that person might be left without a good resource. Or maybe it will just help me check off a task on my to-do list that I promise myself will get done today. Either way, it's worth using my last ounce of energy for today and seeing it published. So, here we go. In episode 2, we talked about business continuity planning, how to keep your business running when the unexpected happens. In episode 3, we dove into risk management, identifying and managing the biggest vulnerabilities that could disrupt your operations. Today, in episode 4, we're looking at the same world, but through a different lens. You may think, Anka, with everything going on, how do I choose what to actually focus on? This episode is all about choosing the top priorities, what to act on now, what to invest in next, and how to make sure your efforts reflect both your business goals and your values. We're shifting from reacting to proactively choosing direction. Today, we're talking about materiality, and more specifically, double materiality. But before we jump in, let me clear something up. You might be a little confused. You might be thinking, wait, first you told me to prepare for emergencies, then to assess risks, and now to define priorities. Which one am I supposed to do first? And that's a fair question. And my answer is, these aren't competing tasks. They're complementary tools that give you a more complete picture. Business continuity planning helps you survive sudden disruptions. Risk management helps you avoid foreseeable problems, and materiality helps you focus. It guides where you invest time, money, and energy for long-term success. Each one looks at your business from a slightly different angle. Used together, they help you build not just a safe business, but a strong, focused, and values-aligned one. So today, we talk about two kinds of materiality, how they overlap, how to identify the material factors that are relevant for your business, how to map them, and a quick action plan. Okay, let's start today's topic and talk about double materiality. First off, materiality. What does it mean? In business, it refers to the issues that could affect your success or reputation. Double materiality means that you're looking at this from two angles. First is financial materiality. This is what impacts your business, so your operations, revenue, or growth. And then the other one is impact materiality. What your business impacts, so your customers, employees, your community. When you combine both, you get a much clearer idea of what really matters and deserves your attention. Let's start with the outside-in view. That's the financial materiality. This is all about what could affect your costs, revenues, productivity, or operations. Think of it as the risk lens with a more strategic twist. What kinds of things show up here? Supply chain disruptions, rising utility or fuel prices, labor shortages, regulatory changes, interest rate hikes, climate-related weather events, These may sound familiar from our risk management episode, and they should. But now we're asking a different question. Is this a risk worth investing in fixing? Does it align with our bigger goals? Let's say you're running a bakery using a shared kitchen. Your biggest challenge might be limited access to equipment or inconsistent prep times. That's not just a pain point, it's a priority because it affects both your operations and your ability to grow. Now, let's flip the lens. Impact materiality is about the footprint your business leaves in the world. How you treat your team, how you use energy or generate waste, whether you support local community, what kind of labor your suppliers rely on, whether you pay fair wages or living wages. This is where we shift from survival mode to purpose mode. What do you stand for? What kind of business do you want to be known as? This view is about social, environmental, and governance factors that reflect your values and influence your reputation. Maybe you have a composting program that diverts food waste, or maybe you prioritize local hiring and offer flexible scheduling to support caregivers. Those are materials factors too. These things may not show up on a spreadsheet, but they absolutely show up in employee loyalty, customer preference, and community support. And if they don't, that might be something to think about. So now that we've looked at both lenses, what affects your business and what your business affects, let's bring them together. This is where double materiality really shines. When something matters from both sides, financial and impact, that's your sweet spot. That's your signal that the issue deserves serious attention. Why? Because these are actions that do two things at once. They help your operations, your bottom line, your business health, and they contribute to the world around you, maybe your team, your customers, your community, or the planet. Let me give you a few examples. Let's say you decide to upgrade to more energy efficient equipment in your production facility. From the financial side, you're reducing your monthly utility costs. Great. From the impact side, you're also lowering your emissions, maybe even reducing noise or heat in your workspace, which your employees appreciate. Or maybe you've been seeing high turnover in a particular department, so you invest in clearer onboarding, better training, or maybe even cross-skilling. Financially, you're reducing churn and minimizing costly errors or delays. On the impact side, your employees feel more confident, more valued, and they stick around longer. This is double materiality in action. These are the kinds of initiatives that check both boxes: smart for business and meaningful for people and the planet. And they also make great stories to share with customers. This isn't fluff or greenwashing, it's real intentional alignment. And here's a secret. By engaging your stakeholders, even informally, they'll feel more connected to your business and more supportive of the changes you make. You're not just guessing what matters. You're showing people that you care what they care about. Alright, let's talk about how to actually choose what to focus on without getting overwhelmed or going down the rabbit hole. Start with something simple. List your top internal challenges. What's causing stress, costing money, or slowing growth? And then list what your customers, employees, or community seem to care about. What are they asking about? What makes them proud? What are they quietly grumbling about? Then look for the overlap. Those aha moments where business needs and outside expectations are met, that's your focus zone. Let's take that one step further and bring in the concept called stakeholder engagement. And no, it doesn't mean launching a 100-question survey or hiring a PR firm. That's just a fancy way of saying talk to the people who are affected by your business and listen to what they care about. Stakeholders include your employees, your customers, your suppliers, even your neighbors. You don't need formal surveys or a research firm. You just need a willingness to ask questions and listen. Think of stakeholders' engagement as intentional listening. There are a few ways to do that. Ask your team during a weekly huddle, what's one thing we could do to make your job easier or more meaningful? What's something we should fix or improve? Or read online reviews or customer emails with fresh eyes. Are there recurring themes? Or chat with a supplier and ask what trends they're seeing from other clients, or ask a vendor what trends they're seeing in your industry. These simple conversations help you refine your priorities. You don't have to guess what matters to people. They'll tell you if you just ask. Then map out what you learned. You can do this two ways. First is to put everything in a table. Create a table with 3 columns. The first column is what matters to us. The second column is what matters to others. And the third one is the overlap or focus area. And then score them. Give 1 for not too important, 2 for average importance, and 3 for high importance. And try to match the topics and see where they overlap. In the overlap column, add the 2 scores. Go for the ones with the highest score. So, let me explain or give some examples. In the column, what matters to us, so that's the financial impact. Let's say you have a rising energy bill and you give it a 2. It's an average importance. In the next column, what matters to others, that's the impact, materiality. You discover that carbon footprint is a concern for some customers, so you give it a 1. So for these 2, rising energy bills and customers caring about the carbon footprint, you decide that a focus area may be to invest in energy efficient equipment. So the 2 points from the rising energy bills and the 1 point from the carbon footprint, 3 points. Now let's go to another topic. On the financial impact column, so the first column, what matters to us, you may have a high turnover in packaging line, and it's important, so you give it a 3. For the what matters to others, so the impact column, a corresponding topic is employees wanting more training, and you give it a 3 as well. So the focus area here would be build a simple skills program, and because each of these topics has a 3, the focus area has a 6 now. You're just adding the points. Or another example, let's say on the what matters to us, you may have delivery delays, and that's important, so you give it a 3. In the what matters to others column, you match it with customers being frustrated with timing, and they give it a 2. So together they have a score of 5, and the focus area and the overlap would be they need to diversify or strengthen logistics partners. If this seems a bit confusing, you can try the other way. As I said, there are 2 ways to do this. So the other way would be to create a materiality matrix, another fancy term. This is a simple grid. On the y-axis, you list the financial impact to your business, and then on the x-axis, the importance to stakeholders. So now you just plug in the topics on this grid. If it's high on both axes, those are the focus areas for you. So let's say energy use lands on the top right. It's expensive, so it's financial impact for a business, and customers care a lot. Again, high impact, so it's going to be on the top right grid. Local hiring may be financial for you, but high impact, so that's going to probably worth your focus. You can do this on a whiteboard or with sticky notes on a wall, however you like. The point is to visualize and identify where your attention should go. Now that you know what to focus on, what's next? Choose 2 to 3 priorities in the upper right grid in your matrix, or items with the high scores from your table, These are your action items. Now, break them down into small, doable steps. Assign ownership, even if it's you. Set a timeline. What can you start with this quarter? And share the why with your teams and customers. This is a good way for a small business to build strategy with focused, thoughtful action, one step at a time. So don't wait, you can start this today. Grab a blank sheet of paper and divide it into 3 columns. Column 1 is what is stressing you out internally. Cost, delays, turnover. The next column is what are your customers or team talking about. Sustainability, fair pay, quality. And then last column is where do these overlap. These are your starting priorities. Spend 20 minutes brainstorming or talking with one team member and write down 2 to 3 overlap areas. Then create an action plan as outlined above. So here's what we covered today. We talked about financial materiality, aka outside in view, impact materiality, aka inside out view, and the overlap, where the two meet, the concept of double materiality. How to identify your focus zone, starting with the stakeholder engagement, how to map your priorities in 2 ways, in a table format or using a materiality matrix, and how to take action on those priorities chosen. Next time, we'll go into something equally important, protecting your business in the digital world. Yep, cybersecurity. Even if you don't have an IT person, you can take simple steps to protect your data, your systems, and your customer trust. That's in episode 5. Digital door locks. Keeping your business safe online. That's it for today. Thank you for staying with me so late. And I'll see you next time. Until then, stay focused, stay resilient, and keep choosing what matters most. Thanks for listening to the Green Ledger Tips for a Sustainable Small Business. I'm Anka, and I hope you'll mark today's topic in your Green Ledger and let it inspire fresh ideas to make your business sustainable. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment, and share the podcast with other small business owners who want to build a profitable and resilient business. I love growing this community of like-minded, forward-thinking, responsible small business owners. If you want to be notified when I post on my blog or create a free tool, please sign up to my blog. I'll share details in the show notes. Also, if you want to connect with me directly, I put my contact info in the show notes as well. I love to hear from you. That's it for today. Join me next time for more practical tips to help your business thrive. Until then, stay resilient, stay prepared.